Welcome back to another edition of Problem Solved. Today I have my yard machines by MTD 638RL. Decided to check out the brakes. They call them, the brake pads, they actually call them brake pucks. I'll put the part number in the comments somewhere when I post the video. I have the right side rear wheel off. Is a 1/2-inch bolt. I'll also list the tools that you're going to need for this job. So far it looks like just the 1/2-inch socket to remove the wheel, and then we got these little guys here on either side, this one and this one. Those are going to be 3/8, and I think we just take that off. That should release the actual brakes mechanism. You have a spring up there. I think once we release that, we'll be in better shape. Removing those two bolts should clear out the way and we'll figure out what's next. Okay, so once you get these bolts loose, you can just wiggle this out. As you can see, it just drops down. Turn it, and you can see right there is the puck. You got a lot of garbage here. I had to clean away a lot of crap too in order to just see it. But that's the puck, and looks like this works like sort of like a lever. As you can see here, the shape of this, when the spring is pulled, puts tension. You can see the puck coming out now. Pulling on it, it's going to put some tension. It's going to spin this into here, and as it does, it must pull this out, which causes this puck to come out. I guess and apply the brake pressure. Doesn't look that bad, but I'm going to take a look at it, clean everything up, see if the new ones I got actually fit. And this disc also just pops out. I was just testing it, my finger in the back here. You can see it wiggling, so it just must go on, press on like splines, I'm sure. And then there should be a puck underneath, another brake pad or puck underneath there. Once we remove it, it should be visible. I'm going to try and clean what I can up and see where we're at. So it looks like how it works is there's a couple of pins in here. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. Yeah, there's one. You can see behind here, in there. See that silver pin? There's one on this side as well. And so there's two pins that this will apply pressure to, and that will push on this puck. And look inside here, it looks like it's just packed with grease, but there is a shim behind this puck. You remove that, and this is pretty ugly. I'm going to repack it, probably some nice grease. I'll just put the puck down the way I took it out. Let's see if I can just lift this. Yeah, see that? There's like a shim in there. So don't think there's any particular way that it goes, and if there is, I'll let you know. I'm going to clean everything up and go on to the next step. So this brake disc is on sort of a shaft with splines, and it does just pull right out. I cleaned things up a little bit so you could see, but you simply pull it off, and now that reveals the other brake puck. Just stationary, looks like it stands there in place. I'll remove it and check the thickness against the new ones, but the other side was actually not very worn. I didn't really have issues. I do see some scarring on this one. Brakes were working pretty good, but I figured I had it a while, wanted to check everything out. The thickness of this one might be okay as well, so I might wind up just putting everything together, repack stuff with grease, and let it run. I'll be right back. cleaned everything up a little bit, and I removed this brake puck. Just got a little regular screwdriver, kind of pried a little bit softly in the edge there, and it comes right out. It was packed with some grease, so when I put it back together, I'll just put grease in there, stick it on, so it holds in place when I put the disc back on. But this also is not very worn. You can actually see how much it's worn. It's not much at all. So being that I wasn't having any problems really, it's good to know that the brakes are in decent shape. So I'll just grease what I need to back up and put it back together here to hold this brake puck while I reassemble the disc and the other side. I'm going to do that now. I'll get back to it with some grease. I had some high temp disc grease, and now I'm just going to insert the puck, apply some pressure, and I'll probably wipe away the excess and see it stays. Next I'll insert the reassemble the disc, slide that on. I'll probably put a little grease on there as well on the shaft, just so it goes on smooth and maybe helps to remove any debris that might be trapped. Puck's behind it. I'm going to repack this side of the brake mechanism with some grease. I got to insert this shim first. Shim, you can actually see on the shim it has some marks from the pins where they were pushing against, so I'll insert it down first, and then I'll put the puck back on top, same way it came off, because you could see it is a little worn, but it's really not that far out of spec from the new ones. I'm going to do that now. It's repacked with some grease. Now I'm going to take the shim and recoil that side goes down. So I'm going to try and do this with one hand and also with gloves on. And I overloaded it with grease, so I know there'll be excess pushing out, but I'd rather have more than not enough. And now I'm going to also put the puck back on. Just got to figure out which way I should put it, being that there is some grooves cut in it already. Be right back. Alright, so I realized which way this is going to go. It's going to go back up like that. It's got to hook onto the spring first and then go back up and bolt on. So the puck is going to have to be set. See the way it was cut into by the disc? It's going to have to be set this way. And I do have a little grease also, extra grease coming out, so that'll help hold it. Push it in there a little bit. And I'll reinstall this side of the brake mechanism in the correct orientation, wrapped around the spring properly. It's a little tough to see up there, but there we go. There's the hook of the spring coming through that way. Just wanted to mention a little tip and trick. There was a little bit of tension. I had to pull, and I had to pull in this direction a little bit. Got it lined up, pressed against flat. Make sure the actual brake mechanism is flat against where it bolts to, and then you want to tighten each one little by little. You do a little bit of this side, go to this side, so that the whole mechanism winds up going in together, a little bit at a time. This side, a little bit this side, back and forth, and eventually a couple on there, a couple on there, and you go back and forth until you feel pressure like it's sitting flat. Like right about now, the left side's got, yep, both sides now are hitting the plate. So basically I'm going to give it, this wasn't extremely tight, so same thing, I go by feel, and you can tell by the size of the bolts as well. It's not really tight. So a little more than hand tight, and looks like we're in good shape. I'll check everything out, and think we're all done with this project for today. Another problem solved. Talk to you next time.